Hello students, welcome back to the maths class. Today we are going to start from question number 12. Already we have finished till question number 11 in the previous sessions, and now today we are starting from the 12th question. So let us see the question number 12. What we have given: the ratio of the sum of m and n terms of an AP is m square ratio n square. Means we have given that one AP is given. In that one AP we have taken the sum up till two different terms. For example, suppose I have taken the sum up till 10 term and up to 20 term. So the ratio of that 10 term sum and 20 term sum is coming here m square upon n square. Okay. Now they are saying show that the ratio of their mth and nth term is 2m minus 1 ratio 2n minus 1. Means we need to bring the ratio of their mth and nth term over here. Okay, that we need to prove here. So let us see how we can start the question. First of all, since it is a single AP given to us, so common ratio, common difference we can suppose by D, and first term we can suppose by A. Okay, so let us start with the given things first. What we have given here. First, we shall mention here, since we have given that sum of m terms upon sum of n terms. The sum of m terms I am showing it by Sm, and sum of n terms I am showing it by Sn is given equal to m square upon n square. Okay. Now value of Sm, I will apply the formula here. You know that the formula is here. If we see the formula, the value of Sn formula is that you have covered in the class 9th or 10th also, sorry. So n upon 2 into the bracket 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay, so same formula I am applying for two different terms. So in the case of Sm, it will become m upon 2 into the bracket 2a plus m minus 1 into d. Okay, whole divided by. Now we shall put up the value of Sn. That will be n upon 2 into the bracket 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and this will be whole equal to m square upon n square. Okay. Now further, here you observe the denominator 2 will be cancelled easily because it is also in denominator and it is also in the denominator. Second thing, this m is common, so this m and this m square 1m will be cancelled. Same way the n square 1n and here 1n will be cancelled. So what is remaining here? We have remained 2a plus in the bracket m minus 1 into d whole divided by 2a plus bracket n minus 1 into d is equal to m upon n. Okay, that is remaining. Now let us cross multiply. So if I cross multiply, so that will be 2an plus m minus 1 again multiplied with n and then multiplied with d is equal to 2am plus it would be n minus 1 into m. Now it would be multiplied m and then already it is being multiplied by d. Now we shall collect the similar kind of term at the same place. For example, 2a. So 2a and 2a that are looking similar. So we'll do one thing. 2an we shall keep it here and 2am we can bring it this side. Similarly, n minus 1 into m into d that I am keeping there only, and I am sending m minus 1 into n into d onto that side. Okay, now from the left hand side we can take 2a common. So let us take 2a common here. 2a would be common, remaining will be here n minus m is equal to, here I am taking d common, and as I am taking d common, along with that I am multiplying the m and n in the respective bracket also. So this will become mn minus m minus mn and then plus n. Sign also I have multiplied. Here mn and mn got cancelled. So what will remain now? 2a into the bracket n minus m is equal to d into the bracket n minus m. You observe n is positive and m is negative. N minus m and n minus m is also cancelled. So what we got finally here? We can say that therefore we got 2a is equal to d, or you can say that d will be equal to 2a. So after solving the given or simplifying the given, we got this relation, d will be equal to 2a. Now we need to find out the ratio of their mth and nth term. Okay, so we shall write down now according to the question what we required. According to the question we required here the value of am upon an. Okay, so we shall write down now am upon an is equal to, value of am will be here a plus m minus 1 into d, and similarly the value of an would be here a plus n minus 1 into d. Now to simplify this one further, we shall use the equation number 1. In the equation number 1, you see the value of d, we have 2a. So I am putting here 2a, value of d, or else you can put the value of a d by 2 also. But it will create the fractional value and hence the complication will be more difficult. So let us put up d is equal to 2a. So a plus n minus 1 into, again it will be 2a, right? Now this reason we can give by equation number 1. Okay, now further you see I can take a common from the numerator as well as from the denominator. So let us take the a common. So if I take the a common, this will be 1 plus m minus 1 into 2, that will remain. Similarly, in the denominator also similar kind of term will remain. So in the denominator again I am taking a common. So remaining is here 1 plus n minus 1 into 2. Right? Now a and a got cancelled. So remaining is here 1 plus 2, I am multiplying inside 2m minus 2, and in the denominator it will be 1 plus 2n minus 2. Now see 1 and 2 we can subtract. So we can say that here I got 2m minus 1, because 1 minus 2 will be minus 1, and similarly this will be 2n minus 1. So therefore we can say that the ratio of mth term with nth term is equal to 2m minus 1 ratio 2n minus 1, and that was only required to be proved. So now we can say that hence it is proved the required things. Okay, now let us see the next question. The next question is given here as, now I am taking question number 13. In the question number 13, see what we have given. If the sum of n terms of an AP is 3n square plus 5n and its mth term is 164, then find the value of m. Okay, means we have given that two things. Sum is given as a general term over here, means if you put the value of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, then you will get the sum of one term, two term, three terms and so on. Okay, and we have given that one particular term where the value of n is not known. Means am value we have given, value of n sure it is here m, but m is unknown and that is only required to be find out. Let us see how we can find out. First of all, we shall write down the given things what we have here. So here first write down the given. We have, first of all, see the value of Sn we have given here as 3n square plus 5n. That is the one thing we have given. Second, we have given here the value of am is equal to 164. Then we need to find out here the value of m. Okay, so let us start with Sn. Suppose if I put n is equal to 1. So what I will get here? The value of S1. So S1 will be equal to 3 into 1 square plus 5 into 1. Right? And S1 means what actually? S1 means if we say technically it is sum up till one term. So up till one term only one term is coming. So we can say that S1 is also equal to first term, that is A, and this will become 3 plus 5, it will be equal to 8. Similarly, let us put up the value n is equal to 2. So we will get here S2 is equal to 3 into square of 2 plus 5 into 2. Okay, and S2 means what actually? The first term and the second term, means in symbolically we can write down A1 plus A2 is equal to 3 into 4 plus 10. Okay, square of 2 is 4. So A1 means what here? That is A, and A2 means second term. Value of second term is here A plus D, that we can say it is the value of A2, and here it will remain 12 plus 10. So if I simplify the left hand side, I will get here 2A plus D is equal to 22. Right? Now see, earlier we found the value of A is equal to 8. Okay, you can check in the previous solution. So A we got here as 8. So put up the value of A. 2 into 8 plus D is equal to 22. We can say here written as A is equal to 8. First term is 8. Now 8 into 2, 16, and 16 is going on that side. Subtract from 22. So finally what is the value of D is coming here? That would be coming as 6. Okay. Now see the second given. What is second given is there? The value of mth term is given here as 164. So now we shall write down AM is equal to 164, that is given to us. Now if I expand AM by the formula of AN, that will become A plus n minus 1 into D is equal to 164. Put up the value of A. Sorry, here I think I wrote n over there. We should write down M. Let us make correction. This will be m minus 1 and then into D is equal to 164. Now put up the value of A. Value of A will be here 8 plus m minus 1 into D, that will be 6 is equal to 164. Now 8 will go on to that side. So m minus 1 into 6 will be equal to 164 minus 8. Okay, so 164 minus 8, how much it will be? I think 156. So m minus 1 into 6 will be equal to 156. Okay, now from 6 we shall try to cancel 156. So 6 ones are 6, 6 2s are 12 and 6 6 are 36. It will remain 26. Okay, and minus 1 is going on that side. It will be added in 26. So value of m will be equal to 27. So this is your answer of this question. I hope this question is also clear to you. You can make them in box to highlight your answer in a proper manner. Okay, now let us see the next question, question number 14th. See, in 14th question, what we have given here, insert 5 numbers between 8 and 26 such that the resulting sequence is an AP. Means we have given that two number. So sequence is starting with 8 and it is ending with 26. And between 8 and 26, we have to insert 5 more numbers. Okay, for example, I say between 8 I have inserted 10, then 12, then 15, 20, 24, and finally it is coming 26. So such 5 numbers I have to insert in such a way that the whole sequence becomes an AP. Okay, that only they are asking. We have to find out the value of that 5 number also, and second thing, we have to make the sequence as an AP also. Okay, so let us see how we can find out this question. First of all, we shall create a sequence with unknown numbers, and that value we shall find out in such a way it forms an AP. So here we'll write down, let the 5 numbers are, let 5 numbers are, I will suppose that 5 numbers are here, A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. Okay, symbol you can take any other symbol also, whichever you need. Okay, I am taking here capital A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. So therefore, what can be the AP? Because these numbers we are supposing that will be in AP. So here my sequence will be 8, comma A1, okay, then A2, A3, A4, A5, and in last it will come 26. Between 8 and 26 we are inserting a number in such a way they are in AP. So by default we shall suppose them they are in AP. So we shall find out the value in such a way they will form an AP only. So here if this is an AP, what I have the value of first term as 8, last term, or you can say the nth term an is equal to 26. Okay, total number of term if you count that will be 7. You can count the total number of term, 5 unknown terms and 2 known terms. So value of n we have here 7. Now we don't have the main value, that is d. Common difference we don't know. Okay, so for that we shall use one formula. Since we know that the value of last term, or we can say it is nth term, is always equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. This is the formula. Okay, put up the value of last term here, that would be 26 is equal to 8 plus n minus 1, and we have how much? 7. So in place of n we can put up 7 minus 1 into d, will be as it is because d we are finding it. 8 I will transfer onto that side, it will subtract from 26, so I think it will remain 18. So 18 will be equal to 6d, and from 6 I will cancel 18, this will be 3. So I can say that the value of d will be equal to 3 over here. Now let us find out the value of A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. So we can say that since the value of A1 is actually equal to the A2, because in the sequence it is a second term. Okay, you can see A1 is the second term in the sequence. So value of A2 will be here A plus D, and hence it can become 8 plus 3 will be equal to 11. Now see, similarly, we can write down the value of some other term also without writing them in the form of a plus 2d, a plus 3d and so on. See how we can write down. Similarly, what can be the value of a2? See, a2 will be here third term. Okay, so third term we can, and we know that the third term is having the same common difference with the second term. So in 11, if I add 3, I will get the value of a2, that will be 14. Value of a3, that will be here 17. Value of a4, we can say it will be 20, and the value of a5 will be equal to 23. And you see the value of a6 means the value of seventh term in the sequence, that will become here 26. That is our last term in the sequence, right? So this is the answer of this question. Now let us see quickly the last question over here, because last question is little lengthier. I am talking about question number 15. So this question is very lengthy. Okay, so but I think our session have remained some time, so we can finish this question over here. See, before I start this question, we should know the definition of arithmetic mean. I think I have covered this definition in the beginning of the exercise 9.2. But once again we can discuss, because now this definition is actually going to apply over here. So see, they are saying given two numbers A and B, we can insert a number A, capital A, between them so that small a, capital A and small b is an AP such that such a number A is called as the arithmetic mean. You remember I have given you the example. Suppose I have given three numbers 6, 8 and 10. These three numbers are given in AP. So I told you on that time 8 will be always equal to the addition of 6 and 10 divided by 2. Means we will say here the middle number 8 is an arithmetic mean of 6 and 10. Suppose if I say find out the arithmetic mean of 6 and 10, then what you will do? You will add 6 and 10 and divide by 2 over there. Same thing will be happening here if the three numbers are given in AP. So here 6 we can say it is my small a, 8 will be capital A and 10 will be here value of B. So relation will become here A is equal to A plus B upon 2. The relation is given here. That same relation we can note down here. Okay. Now see, in the question only symbols are going to change. Then we have to find out the value of n. What they are saying, if a to the power n plus b to the power n upon a to the power n minus 1 plus b to the power n minus 1 is the arithmetic mean between a and b, means arithmetic mean between a and b, small a and small b, they are coming same as it is as they are coming here, a and b. Okay, only the value of capital A is given in a very bulky manner. Capital A, you see we have given here a to the power n plus b to the power n upon the denominator value given to us. Then we have to find out the value of n. So if I write down in the same manner as the equation written here, capital A is equal to a plus b upon 2. In this manner, if I write down the information given in the question, so we can say that we have a to the power n plus b to the power n upon a to the power n minus 1 plus b to the power n minus 1 is equal to a plus b upon 2. I have written the same equation as it is shown in the box over here. Only the difference is the value of capital A is given in the question like this. Okay. Now let us simplify. Now nothing we have to do it. Just we have to simplify this equation and get the value of n. So see how we can simplify. First of all, I will do the cross multiplication. So this will come 2 into the bracket a to the power n plus b to the power n is equal to a plus b into bracket a to the power n minus 1 plus b to the power n minus 1. Okay, now multiply 2 inside over here. So this will be 2a to the power n plus 2b to the power n is equal to. Now see, a will multiply in the a to the power n minus 1 and b to the power n minus 1. So this will become a into a to the power n minus 1 plus a into b to the power n minus 1. Same way we can say the b will multiply. So b into a to the power n minus 1, okay, and plus b into b to the power n minus 1, right? It will be like this. Now see, here a to the power 1 we can say, and here we can say also b to the power 1, and first and last term of the right hand side you observe they have the same basis. So we can say that if their bases are same, then the power would be added. So what is the addition of 1 and n minus 1? If you add 1 and n minus 1, minus 1 and plus 1 will be cancelled and it will remain a to the power n plus middle two terms I will write down in this manner. A into b to the power, it is given n minus 1. So suppose if I write down, okay fine, we shall keep it like this only. Let us see what is the requirement for them. Okay, so I am keeping right now as it is a into b to the power n minus 1 plus b into a to the power n minus 1, and same way as I did in the first term, here the two powers will be added, 1 and n minus 1, so remaining is only n, that will be b to the power n. Okay, now further a to the power n and b to the power n I am bringing onto this side, so it will be subtracted from 2a to the power n and 2b to the power n, means I can write down now 2a to the power n minus 1a to the power n plus 2b to the power n minus 1b to the power n. Now what we have remain here? So C remaining is here a into b to the power n minus 1 plus b into a to the power n minus 1, that is remaining here. Okay, now from 2a to the power n, 1a to the power n, if I subtract, remaining is 1a to the power n, and here also it will remain 1b to the power n is equal to the same right hand side. Okay, now we need to decide how we have to shuffle the terms. Now observe, here we need to judge which two terms are similar. Observe here, this is a to the power n, okay, and this term you observe here also somehow I am getting a to the power n. However, that power n I have a minus 1 also, but I can say these two terms at least not exactly, but we can say they have some level of similarity. Similarly, b to the power n here and here also I can say they have at least some percentage that we can say they are similar. So we can do one thing. So first of all, the last term of the right hand side I can bring on this side. So this will become a to the power n minus b into a to the power n minus 1, okay, is equal to the b to the power n I am sending on that side. So a into b to the power n minus 1, that is as it is, minus b to the power n will be I am sending onto that side. Now see what I will do here, a to the power n will be as it is, b into a to the power n minus 1, I can write down a to the power n upon a to the power 1. I hope this formula you know it very well. The formula we have covered in the lower classes, a to the power m minus n is equal to a to the power m upon a to the power n. right? This formula only I have utilized here. Normally we use it a to the power m upon a to the power n, but here I used in a opposite manner. Similarly, I will apply on the right hand side also. So b to the power n upon b to the power 1 minus b to the power n will be as it is. Now in the left hand side you observe I can take common a to the power n. So if a to the power n I am taking common, here remain 1 minus b upon a, because in the numerator it will remain b and in denominator it will remain a. Okay, similarly here what I can take common, b to the power n I can take common. So remaining is here a upon b minus 1. Okay, now further a to the power n I am keeping it as it is. Here I am taking the LCM. This will be a minus b upon a is equal to, this will be b to the power n, and this will also become as a minus b. Observe, if I cross multiply and I solve it, it will become a minus b upon b. A minus b and a minus b got cancelled. Okay, so what is remaining here? A to the power n upon a to the power 1. That is only remaining here. I can say this is a to the power 1, and similarly b to the power n upon b to the power 1 is remaining, right? Again apply the same formula of exponent I have applied earlier. So this will become a to the power n minus 1, and this will become b to the power n minus 1 in the similar way. Now b to the power minus 1, b to the power n minus 1, I can suppose multiplied by 1 over here, and I can say this term is in multiplication, b to the power n minus 1. So multiplication term when goes on to the left hand side, it comes in the denominator. So this will be a to the power n minus 1 upon b to the power n minus 1, and is equal to, it will remain 1. Okay, this into 1 I have taken just as it is because it will not affect the answer. So in multiplied by 1 I have taken to convince you how b to the power n minus 1 is coming in the denominator. Okay, so now here both the term have the same power. I can write down a upon b whole power n minus 1, and 1 what I can write down? 1 I can write down a upon b whole power 0, since I know that a to the power 0 is always equal to 1. Okay, so here I can write down any base with the power 0, answer will be equal to 1, but I have taken here base as same I am getting in the left hand side. Okay, now we know that if the bases are same, power will be also same. So here n minus 1 will be equal to 0. We can give the reason here, since bases are same. And now you see minus 1 will go on that side, so we will get the value of n is equal to 1. This is your required answer. Okay, this was only the asking in the question. Question was little lengthy, but since some time was remaining in the section, so I have taken this question. Next time onwards we shall take from the question number 16 onwards. Once you see this whole question, because it was very lengthy question. Okay, so please see this question afterwards, and once you try to solve it also by your own. So next time we shall see from 16 onwards. Thank you.